This happened on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We did a topic, and Jason, you were here, so you will have heard this. You're in this clip we're about to show.
I don't remember.
About the PFF ranking of rosters. They had the Browns with the 32nd ranked roster.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy.
During that conversation, Jay Crawford said something that sparked a topic idea. So I wanted to play this clip. You'll hear us all going back and forth, and then I'm very curious to see what Bull and Tyvis think, because Jason and I are already thinking along the same lines with this. But this was from Monday's Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
At the time, why did I hate it? You can't go a 4-year stretch. There's 3 years in the draft where you're not bringing a number one talent onto your team.
You can if you get the quarterback right, but they didn't get it right.
But Jay, I would tell you that even if you get the quarterback right, you're missing key parts to your team. Our last first-round draft pick until this draft was 4 years ago.
If the Browns drugged the Bills, held them at gunpoint, and traded Deshaun Watson for Josh Allen straight up, how would you feel about this team right now?
We'd win 7-8 games.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
You'd
we
win
would.
more than that.
No.
You'd win more than that.
Josh Allen's
We're number 32. We're number 32.
Because of the quarterback. You put Josh Allen on this
it has
team,
a lot to do with the quarterback. But like I mentioned, who's our best wide receiver? Who's our best running back?
Josh Allen's going to make them all look really good.
He is. Probably. He's going to cover. He's going to hide a lot of warts, and he's going to double our win total. That's a big ask.
It's a minimum 10-11 win team with Josh Allen at quarterback.
So you think we're a lot closer than we really are?
No, I think the quarterback solves a lot of issues.
He's like, no, there's 75%.
It does, but like even when Jaden Daniels came into Washington, they upgraded everywhere. They had a great offseason.
Well, do you remember
a great
Bills,
offseason?
Last year, the Bills were supposed to be a rebuilding year, right? They traded Stephon Diggs. They didn't bring.
Oh no, I don't think anybody in Buffalo was saying that's a rebuilding year.
They got rid of Gabe Davis.
They were tinkering with the
backup, and they still ended up making the AFC Championship game. Josh Allen won.
No, that's a gas. Saying that Buffalo was in a rebuilding year last year.
It was a retool year, not rebuild. It was a retool year.
No, you said rebuilding year. A rebuilding year is what we're doing.
A retool year.
The Buffalo Bills had AFC Championship game aspirations from week 1. I can't say that's a rebuilding year. Did they make moves to become better? Of course they did.
Why were they AFC Championship expectations in week 1? Why?
Because that's who they are. That's what
Josh, because the quarterback.
Because of
course, because the quarterback. But so what you're saying is,
who's better?
You can take Josh Allen on the Browns, and they're an AFC contender, AFC Championship contender.
Yes.
They're not. No, they're not, guys.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell you're watching.
Yeah,
Does he play defense?
Browns defense.
Does he play defense?
He can outscore the defense.
That's what he would have
Josh
to do.
Allen,
and the league isn't built that way anymore.
Is you put a top 3 quarterback on this team?
Josh Allen with the Browns right now is a championship caliber team.
Yes.
PFF says we're number 32 in roster, and by the way, I agree with them. They're not wrong.
Take Josh Allen off the Bills, and how far do they fall?
Who's going to block for Josh Allen?
Oh, the line will be all right.
Our lines, most of them have walkers.
They'll get rid of the ball, and he'll probably rush for 500 yards.
I'm telling you, I feel so much better about this line after seeing DeJuan Jones last week. Seriously.
That was fascinating because you know what was interesting about that clip? Jay, I just got a call from the Guinness Book of World Records. Jay set the record for most bad takes in a 2-minute segment. One terrible take after the other. Jay, I love you, but you couldn't be more lost in the soup. Jay's like, so if you put Josh Allen on the Bills, they're a Super Bowl contender? And we're all sitting here like, yes, of course they are. What? First of all, you guys didn't. There's a couple of things you guys could have called them on. Who are all these great pickups on offense that Washington had last year?
Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz.
They did have a good.
Austin Eckler and Zach Ertz? Austin Eckler is shot. Zach Ertz, when he had such a big year, what did Zach Ertz do for Washington last year, Mike?
Stand by.
Zach Ertz.
What? He was
guy's like 50.
He had 66 catches for 650 yards.
Oh, what? I want massive impact, 600 yards.
I don't have the
wait,
but
hold on.
No, they had a good offseason. They
did, but they didn't make. He made it seem like they made massive upgrades elsewhere besides quarterback. There was one reason why Washington was crappy the year before and good the next year.
Don't say it. Tyvis, guess what it is.
I'm gonna throw a dart here and say
all those great offseason pickups would have meant exactly zero
To say
had
that-
they not gotten Jay. I'm not saying they didn't make some nice moves. They did, but they wouldn't have if they had Sam Howell again. I think wasn't Sam Howell their quarterback the year before?
Yes.
If Sam Howell had been their quarterback
They win
again last
7
year,
games, 7 to 9
if they're
games.
lucky, 7 games. And nobody's talking about this great offseason they had.
Well,
Nobody.
They
So,
had
so let me ask Tyvis. Let me ask you this, because now I know how Bull feels. If
You knew before that how Bulls.
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
put an elite quarterback on this Browns roster, we'll use Josh Allen for the sake of this because that's what we talked about on Monday. What's the Browns' ceiling with an elite quarterback like Josh Allen? This current roster with Josh Allen.
They definitely be a playoff team for sure. If the defense gets back to what they once were, they definitely could get to the AFC Championship. As crazy as that sounds, because you got the one receiver in Jerry Jeudy. Cedric Tillman just needs somebody to put the ball in the area. Jameis showed you that much. Quinshawn, I'm pretty sure Quinshawn's going to be pretty good in the NFL as a tough bell cow back. You got the tight end, which Josh Allen loves to throw the tight ends, and you got two of them now. That's gonna be, I think.
And by the way,
and he runs. So I think
first of all, Jay, again, he couldn't be more lost.
First of all, Jay is a flip flopper because PFF's supposed to be dead.
Exactly. He's been
But
saying
here
for
you
a year,
are.
PFF is dead. Now it's the Bible. And listen, the Browns don't have a great roster, but they're not 32nd. That's stupid. They're probably like 22nd or 24th, whatever. They don't have a great roster, but it's good enough. The Bengals had the worst defense ever last year, and if they had made the playoffs, would you have thought they could go to the Super Bowl?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why? Because of the quarterback. Yes, they have great wide receivers too, but mostly because of the quarterback. And by the way, it's also disingenuous to talk about the Browns receivers because if by some chance you had Josh Allen, you'd probably, be working on an upgrade on that second wide receiver. But even if you didn't, who the hell did Josh Allen have last year?
That was
Amari
not part of
Cooper?
the clip. But I mentioned Jerry Jeudy's better than Khalil Shakir, who is
Yes.
the number one receiver. The Browns traded Amari Cooper to Buffalo.
Yes.
Midseason, Amari Cooper got worse in Buffalo than he was in
Yes.
Cleveland.
And
Dalton Knox and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. David Njoku. It's the equivalent.
it's equal. I don't know how good the Bills' offensive line is, to be honest. I'm not
It was
sure.
pretty. It was pretty good last
The
year.
Browns' offensive line wasn't great last year. It's not a bad offense. Like Jay
No.
made it seem like it's the worst offensive line.
No.
Come on. Their offensive line is at least adequate. And if you had a good Josh Allen makes up for all these other problems. It's crazy that you would think with Josh Allen, the Browns wouldn't be a Super Bowl contender. They'd be
They would not be the favorite.
No, they wouldn't be the favorite. You're right. I was going to say for a second they'd be the favorite in the division, but they'd probably be like right there with Baltimore and Cincinnati. All three would be right there, neck and neck.
Yes.
I think the Browns would actually be probably second behind Baltimore and Cincinnati, third because the Bengals would have the worst defense of the three. But you're right. I think you said the Browns would win at least 10 or 11 games.
At least.
100% right.
When
Yeah.
Baker was the quarterback here, did they play the Bills? Can you even think
I
of
mean,
that?
they probably did.
No,
but
I don't think.
no?
I don't remember. I don't think they did. I don't know. I definitely didn't make any trips to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo. I don't remember.
And
all the home
again,
games.
Jason is
Buffalo Big
100% right when Jay's still talking about the trade. Obviously, the trade flopped, but it's silly revisionist history now. At the time, we all thought that Deshaun Watson was still a great quarterback. He was great in Houston. If he had been great here, I don't care how many first-round picks he gave up. I would trade the Browns' next 10 first-round picks for Josh Allen. 10. I'd trade 10. And you know what would happen if the Browns called the Bills right now and said, we'll give you 10 first-round picks?
Buffalo would say,
They'd hang up the phone for 10 first-round picks. Especially if you're the Browns, because the one thing our buffoon owner does is he's willing to spend money. So you could make up for it if you had Josh Allen. You spend money to fill the holes.
Now for your next trick, play the clip of Jay talking about Baker and how the Browns already had their franchise guy, and watch Bull's head leave his body.
I do not have that one preloaded in. I
Enough with
apologize.
Baker. He's done. I mean, I can't. We know he's done well in Tampa.
Yes.
He's a different player now. I'll admit he's better. He's played better than I ever thought he would.
Agree.
I still don't think you're ever winning a Super Bowl.
That's what I said on Monday.
And again, this is with all due respect to Baker. I think he's way better than I thought he would be now. That's the worst division in football by a lot.
I don't think he ever wins you more than one playoff game.
No. You're not winning. You're not,
He can win you one playoff game.
come
now,
on
if you have
now.
a monster roster around it, but now he's making the type of money that you're not going to be able to build a monster
Yes,
roster
that's right.
around it.
If you could listen
up.
with Josh Allen,
You think he can take a team to the Super Bowl?
Sure.
Come on. There's a lot of conviction behind that. That's like, hey, honey, do you want tacos tonight? Yeah, sure.
If Baker made it to the Super Bowl, it wouldn't shock me. Let's just say that.
it would shock me, but we'll
It would
see.
shock me.
It wouldn't shock me.
Although it's
Because
easier in the NFC.
he
than
is
the
he
AFC.
one of those guys that can catch lightning in the bottle. And if he catch it in the playoffs,
You know why?
he
You know why it
can
shocked
do
me?
it.
Because he's always going to throw a pick in a big spot.
Yeah,
That's his career.
That's possible.
That's career. That's his career, and
I feel like he started to shake that a little bit.
well,
last
he's
year.
gotten. I mean, overall, he's throwing less picks. He's turning the ball over less, but he's still in some big key spots in
Yeah.
games. Will
Yeah.
make that mistake trying to be overly aggressive.
You gonna take him in fantasy this year?
No.